Religion was created for the purpose of instilling fear in people, brainwashing people, and controlling people. I mean, if you look at the beliefs of Christianity, you can see that very easily. But yes, I believe the Bible was written by the government. Of course I do. The very idea that was written a couple thousand years ago, these stories about Adam and Eve and all this stuff at the beginning of the universe, is a complete and total lie. That's just a way of manipulating people into believing this is what happened. It's been going on since the world was created. So deal with it. Accept it. The worst part about religion, aside from the fact that it controls people and is to brainwash people and instill fear in people, is that it groups people. You know, one aspect about our society is that people should be accepting of others. You know, we should accept everyone's beliefs. We should all be treated equally. But religion does the complete and total opposite of this. Each religion has its own set of beliefs. Most religious people are very violent. A lot of them, based on religion, will kill each other for not believing in what somebody else believes in. You know, there's no acceptance, there's no equality. If anything, religion does the opposite. It groups people into categories, and very violent ones too. Now, I want to be fair and let you know that I don't hate every single religion. You know, there's different religions with different beliefs, and some religions are actually are peaceful. I believe in spirituality. And of course, which religion relies mostly on spiritual beliefs as opposed to like what Christianity believes in? Buddhists, for example. Most Buddhists, obviously, you know, they're monks. They believe in personal things like personal values, morals, and just being a better person. But they don't do the kind of corrupt things that Christians do. You know, they're not mean people. They don't attack people. They don't ridicule people for not agreeing with them. They don't shove their beliefs down each other's throats. They don't create war over it. Now, I don't know if you guys have read the Quran, but much like the Bible, it's very corrupt. Now, you see, the Bible supports slavery, murder, rape, incest, taking away women's rights, whereas the Quran, if you've ever read it, supports the raping of women. Like, many times. Like, there's several parts of the Quran where it basically says that women are useless, they're, you know, second beings or whatever, and they deserve to be raped if the man wants to do so. It's really fucked up. But, of course, this is the kind of stuff people believe in because they're crazy. You know, just think about the concept of heaven and hell. They were created for the sole purpose of control. You know, think about it. It's just like what the wisest man in the world, George Carlin, said.
Religion has actually convinced people that there's an invisible man living in the sky who watches everything you do every minute of every day. And the invisible man has a special list of 10 things he does not want you to do. And if you do any of these 10 things, he has a special place full of fire and smoke and burning and torture and anguish where he will send you to live and suffer and burn and choke and scream and cry forever and ever till the end of time. But he loves you.
That is manipulation and control. There's no such thing as heaven and hell. Okay, these things were made for control. Okay, many things in the government, most things in the government, were made for control, fear instilling, and things like that. This is the same thing. There's no heaven and hell. You're not going to be rewarded for being good and punished for being bad. Okay, well, karma can punish you, that's fine. But no God is going to send you down to the fiery pits of hell. That's fear-mongering is what it is. It's brainwashing. I grew up Christian, Catholic, whatever the fuck. You know, I went to church until I was 14. Okay, 14. In those 14 years, I was baptized. I had communion. I went to Sunday school. I sat in a church every single week and listened to some asshole priest lie to me for an hour every week. You know, I went through the whole thing. But since I was much smarter, when I turned 14, I basically realized and said to myself, wow, I'm so sick and tired of being lied to. I'm so sick and tired of hearing this bullshit that's not true. And at 14 years old, I stopped. And ever since then, I felt like a better person. I felt like I had more morals. I felt like I had more freedom. I wasn't being manipulated, lied to, brainwashed, controlled anymore. I started growing my own beliefs and my own morals, you know? And I never became the kind of person who would shove it down people's throats or say you're going to hell because you don't agree with me. But I do want to talk to you about what I do believe for a minute. I do not deny the existence of God, or should I say a higher power. I don't like using the word God because the word God is the word that's given to you. You know, it said, this is God, okay? Believe in God. This is what God looks like. This is what he sounds like. This is what he tells you to do. Agree with him. I don't agree with that because, well, first of all, this higher power, this being, is not something you should be able to understand or comprehend. So For them to put a label on a name and appearance, all this kind of stuff, is really ignorant. But I don't deny the existence of a higher power. As somebody who's trying to grow in a spiritual way, I believe in spiritual beliefs as opposed to religious ones. I'm agnostic. Okay? I'm not religious and I'm not atheist either. I do not agree nor disagree. I am agnostic. I sit in the middle where I don't force a belief, but I also don't even believe in one either. I'm in the middle. Okay? It means that I believe that there's a higher power in this world. There's something above us, but it's not God. It's not Jesus who died on a cross. It is just a higher power. Maybe, I've always thought about this. What happens after we die? I like to believe that either A, maybe we come back as animals, or B, perhaps maybe we become part of nature. Nature is a huge belief when it comes to spiritual beliefs, and that's what I like to believe in. Something you have to do with animals after death, maybe a part of nature, something like that. That's a more spiritual beliefs. It is a subjective thing. It is straight opinion. I'm not going to force that belief on anybody. I'm not like a religious nut who's going to force something on somebody else. These are spiritual beliefs. In spirituality, like I told you about Buddhists, it's all about inner growth. It's all about being a good person with morals and values and respecting other people. That's what I believe in. If you really think logically about it, Satan's the good guy. God's the evil one. Think about it. Satan's job, supposedly, is to torture you in hell if you do something bad. Well, then Satan must be good, right? If his job is to torture you for being a bad person, then he has to be good. And the idea of God is that if you just walk into a fucking confessional and say, yeah, I'm sorry I murdered that guy, can you please forgive me? Okay, my son, say 30 fucking Hail Marys and you're forgiven. Priest or God or whatever would be the evil one because he's basically saying you can be forgiven for basically anything, even if you rape or murder somebody, just because you went to a confessional and said the word sorry. And also, there's more to this concept. Why do you think that you can be forgiven so easily, but you're instilled so much fear about doing anything bad that you go to hell? Again, because the government and everything is so good at controlling you. The idea, basically, is that you go into a confessional and say sorry. You're basically indirectly saying, I am so sorry that I thought for myself or did a very bad act. Please forgive me. I will remain under your control. Don't send me to hell. Again, manipulation, fear-mongering, brainwashing. That's the whole idea. Think about it yourself. Why can you be forgiven so easily for any evil act you do because you said sorry in a confessional, but yet, if you don't do that, oh, you're gonna go burn in hell. Have you guys ever noticed that when you go to church, especially when you're young, because young people are easier to manipulate, that's why they start you off at a young age, by the way, they do that thing where they want you to say the Hail Mary prayer like 20 times in a row. Have you ever wondered why? Actually, it's quite simple why they do that. It's, again, more manipulation and more brainwashing. You repeat things over and over and over again and it ends up sticking with you. This is how the mind works. They know this. There's no actual reason to say Hail Mary 30 fucking times. I know I hated it when I was young because I had to do it. But it's manipulation. It's brainwashing. That's the purpose of it. What about these fucking pastures? You ever see these people, usually on TV, where they have their hand, I heal you of this and you will be able to walk again. Boom, and they push you on the floor and you can walk. This is yet another aspect of the corruption of religion. These people are fakes. They're doing this for show. They're doing this for money. And I can't believe that people would actually support a religion that actually goes and does this kind of shit, pretending to heal people, who, by the way, are all actors, to gain money and to bring people in. This whole idea of bringing people in is a cult. Do you guys know what a cult is? What Jim Jones had was a cult. Okay, and there were many cults throughout time, but I remember I took a cults class back in college, and I knew this before I went because I'm smart. But we actually discussed how religion and cults are the same thing because sadly they are. Religion is a cult, grouping a certain amount of people together with a set amount of beliefs that you must believe in or you're going to die. And another thing I really hate is the arrogance of Christians. They're so fucking arrogant in so many ways. But here's the one that pisses me off the most. When they thank God for their meal. I hate this. I hate this. Basically the idea is they say oh, thank you for giving me this food. Or even an event in their lives. Thank you for allowing me to wake up another day, or thank you for giving me a job, thank you for letting me pass my exam because I went and prayed the night before. None of this matters, okay? And it's very arrogant. And would you like to know why? Because when you do and say those kind of things, you are undermining people who have less than you. It's like saying, God gave me this beautiful bounty of food. But what about people in Ethiopia who are starving? You're basically indirectly saying that God doesn't fucking care about them. The truth is, God doesn't fucking exist in the traditional sense, and He's not helping you, okay? He's not answering your prayers and helping you through a test or whatever, okay? And I hate when people even say these words, because you are undermining people who are dying all the time of starvation, live in poverty, homeless, etc. It's like saying, oh, God doesn't give a fuck about them, you know? But you know what? Supposedly, everybody's created equal, okay? I know religious people don't really see it that way, they just say they do, but they don't. Have you ever noticed that the people who know the most about the Bible are either agnostic or atheist? Me and everyone else who's either agnostic or atheist go around asking people if you don't believe me. Now, of course, it's not everybody, but most of them. You'll notice that most agnostics or atheists have actually read the Bible. That's how they educated themselves to know that it's bullshit. And I've personally, in my personal life, I've never ever met a Christian who actually read the Bible themselves. None of them have read it because they have no education on it, they know nothing about it besides what a priest tells them, and they believe in this bullshit because they know nothing. That's just a ridiculous little fact that I learned throughout my life, and it's pathetic that, you know, the people who believe in it the most are the people who've never read it and know nothing about it. You know, back to the government again. Did you ever notice that the church does not pay any taxes? But why? Why doesn't the church pay taxes? Newsflash, because it's government owned. That's why, okay? You know, another fact about religion itself is the Ten Commandments. Did you ever ask yourself, and this is another thing quoted by the amazing, wise George Carlin, did you ever wonder to yourself why there's 10? Why 10? Why not 9, 11? Why 10? Well, actually, there is a reason. And it's yet another aspect of control and brainwashing. And a little bit of psychology as well. 10 is a very official number. It is a number that would be set in stone. You know, you don't take odd numbers seriously. Think about in life. You read the top 10 list, the top 10, the worst 10. It's always 10, not 11, 12, 13, 9, 8. It's 10. Because 10, or multiples of 10, 10, 100,000, they're very official numbers. It's actually a psychological thing. These are official numbers. Again, the idea is to manipulate you, to make it sound like, oh, these are real, this is official. And the final thing I want to say is that, wrapped up with all this control, this manipulation, this brainwashing, this lying, are the Christians themselves, and how arrogant they are, and how rude they are, and how they go around judging people, condemning people to hell, telling them if you don't agree with me that you're basically a bad person, even though they're the bad ones for doing it. People like the Westboro Baptist Church, fuck you Fred Phelps, who, well, I'm not comparing them to Christians because they're like on a way more extreme level, but the same type of thing. The people who condemn you to hell because you don't agree, you know, or because you're able to think for yourselves. They want you to be a brainwashed little sheep who agrees with everything you're fucking told from a book that was written by the government and has been refined many, many, many times because of all the contradictions and lies in it. You know, all the bad things in it, like how they hate gay people, and how they're against women's rights, and how they support rape and slavery and murder and racism, and all this really disgusting stuff. This is supposed to be, you know, an aspect of love. What I really hate is their ego. I've actually met many religious people who believe that they understand God, see God, feel God, can comprehend God, things like that. If they actually read the Bible, because they haven't, they would know that it actually says in the Bible that the Bible is a book of morals, not actual stories, because Adam and Eve never existed, but also because it states in the Bible that you are not meant to understand or comprehend God or Jesus or whatever. You're not meant to. It's a story of morals. These events never took place. There's no such thing as Adam and Eve. There's no such thing as all these apostles. There is no such thing as the Ark. These events never happened. But these arrogant jerks think they know everything when they have no understanding whatsoever. Religion was created the same way that many things in this world were. The way the government manipulates and lies to people. The way the media manipulates and lies to people. Religion is no different. It is to make you believe that you have the freedom or the capacity to love, and you have the freedom to pick your own beliefs and the freedom to share these beliefs and be a good person. But the reality is, the actual reality is that these people are not good. These people are not kind or nice. They are rude, they are controllers, they are liars, they are manipulators, they are fakes. The religion was created by the government, okay? It was created by the government. I'm not against all religions. Like I said, I have no problem with Buddhists, for example, and I'm sure there's a few others if I take some thought into it. And on top of all this, mostly, or just almost all, let's say 98% of war in this world is caused by religion. If you people want a peaceful society, an actual peaceful society, not where you shoot somebody and say, please be peaceful. I mean a real peaceful society. Raise your kids to think for themselves. Teach them real things about the world. Teach them reality. Do not stick them in Sunday school so that they can be lied to and manipulated by these morons. Teach them real values. Teach them real life. Teach them to be good people and not just pretend to be good people. And stop the real hatred in this world. Because as long as religion exists, war will continue to exist. Fact.
Now, you talk about a good bullshit story. Holy shit.